Your nervous cat is trapped. Not physically. They have the whole house. But somewhere inside, their nervous system decided that the world isn't safe. Maybe it started with a loud noise. Maybe it was a move to a new home. Maybe it was something you didn't even notice happening. But now your cat lives in a state of quiet panic. They startle at sounds that don't bother you. They hide most of the day. They flinch when you move too quickly. And you feel helpless because you can't just tell them, "It's okay. You're safe." But here's the truth. You can tell them. Not with words. With tiny, deliberate changes that speak directly to your cat's nervous system. Today on CreatureCode, we're exploring 5 small shifts that rewire how your nervous cat experiences their world. And once you understand these changes, you'll see your cat's anxiety start to dissolve in front of you. Have you ever noticed where your nervous cat spends most of their time? Not on the couch with you. Not in the sunny window. Usually somewhere elevated. On top of the refrigerator. On a high shelf. In the back corner of a closet. Most owners see this and think, "She's just antisocial. She prefers to be alone." But what if what you're interpreting as antisocial is actually your cat desperately looking for safety? Here's something critical about nervous cats. Their fear response is triggered by feeling trapped. A nervous cat isn't just anxious. They're constantly scanning for escape routes. Their brain is constantly running this calculation. If something dangerous happens right now, where would I go? When a cat can't find a clear answer to that question, their anxiety spikes. They feel cornered even in an open room. But when a cat has multiple high spots they can reach, multiple escape routes, multiple places to retreat, something shifts in their brain. They feel like they have agency. They feel like they have control. And control is the antidote to anxiety. In a 2019 study published in Applied Animal Behavior Science, researchers observed 45 anxious cats in environments with varying vertical spaces. The results were striking. Cats with access to elevated hideaways showed 35% lower stress behaviors. They spent less time hiding overall, paradoxically, because they felt secure enough to venture out. Researchers noted something fascinating. The cats didn't even use many of the hideaways. Just knowing they were available reduced anxiety. It was the option that mattered, not the frequency of use. Most owners try to help their nervous cats by creating a calm, open environment. They remove clutter. They open up spaces. They think, if it's open and spacious, my cat will feel less trapped. But a nervous cat in an open space without escape routes feels more trapped, not less. They're exposed. They're vulnerable. Their anxiety increases. The owners whose nervous cats improve fastest are the ones who do the opposite. They create a complex, vertical landscape where escape is always possible. Start mapping your home from your cat's perspective. Where are the high points? Where can they climb? Where can they hide while still observing the room? Install cat shelves on walls, especially near spaces where people congregate. Your cat wants to be near you, but above you, where they can observe without being exposed. Create a vertical highway through your home. Cats should be able to move from room to room without ever touching the ground if they choose to. Use existing furniture. Cat trees, wall-mounted shelves, even sturdy bookshelves that don't require installation. The goal is options. Multiple ways up, multiple ways out. And here's the key detail. Place these high spots strategically. Near windows, observation. Near their food/water, easy access. Near you but elevated, connection without vulnerability. Within days of adding vertical space, nervous cat owners report something remarkable. Their cat stops hiding all day. They appear more often. They seem visibly calmer. Not because the cat's anxiety disappeared, because they finally feel like they have choices about their safety. They're no longer passive. They're in control. And that shift from helplessness to control is where anxiety dissolves. Think about what a nervous cat's internal world feels like. Everything is unpredictable. You might pick them up. You might not. Sounds might happen. They might not. People might come home. They might not. Doors might open. They might not. To a nervous cat, life is essentially random. And randomness feels like danger. But what if you could give your cat the opposite? What if you could turn their world into something their nervous system recognizes as safe? Nervous cats have dysregulated nervous systems. Their threat detection system is constantly on. Part of this is temperament. Some cats are just wired to be more anxious. But a huge part is environment. An unpredictable environment keeps that threat system activated. But a predictable environment is boring to the threat detection system. Boring is safe. When your cat learns that the same things happen at the same times, their brain stops scanning for danger. Can relax. This is called predictive coding. Your cat's brain creates a model of what to expect. When reality matches the model, the brain relaxes. When reality surprises the brain, the threat system activates. A 2020 study from the University of Edinburgh examined the impact of routine consistency on anxiety in cats. Researchers tracked cortisol levels, stress hormone, in nervous cats over an 8-week period. In the first 4 weeks, cats lived in a variable routine. Feeding times changed, interaction varied, schedule was unpredictable. In the second 4 weeks, everything became consistent. Same feeding times, same interaction times, same schedule. The results: cortisol levels dropped 42% once routine became consistent. But here's the crucial finding. The drop happened gradually over the second month, not immediately. The nervous system takes time to trust a new pattern. Most owners of nervous cats try to make life exciting. They think, maybe if I surprise her with fun stuff, she'll get over her anxiety. They bring in new toys. They have spontaneous play sessions. They try to coax the cat out of hiding. But spontaneity is exactly what a nervous cat's brain interprets as danger. They need boring. They need consistency. They need to know that Tuesday at 9 a.m., they'll be fed. That 6 p.m. is always playtime. That bedtime is always the same. Create what I call a predictable day map for your cat. Write down your daily routine. What time do you wake up? What time do you leave? What time do you return? What time is feeding time? What time is playtime? What time is your quiet time? Now commit to that schedule. Seriously commit. Same times every single day. Your cat's nervous system will begin to recognize these patterns. Around 4 p.m., their brain will anticipate your return because you're always back by 4:15. At feeding time, their body will already be preparing for food. This predictability is how you reprogram a nervous system. Owners report that within 2 weeks of consistent routine, their nervous cat's startle response decreases. They're more present. They wait for you by the door at the expected time because their brain now predicts your arrival. They're calmer because they're no longer in constant threat detection mode. A nervous cat with a predictable life becomes a calm cat. Not because the threats changed, because the cat's brain learned that threats aren't randomly appearing. Can relax. Your nervous cat is finally coming out. They're sitting near you. You're so excited that you instinctively reach out. You want to pet them. You want to make contact. You want to show them they're safe. But the moment your hand moves toward them, they flinch. They back away. And you feel a little hurt. So next time you move slower. Next time you try to earn their trust by being gentle. But what if the real trust builder isn't gentleness? What if it's respect? A nervous cat's deepest fear is loss of control. When a nervous cat approaches you, they're taking an enormous risk. They're moving toward the thing they're afraid of because they're trying to overcome their anxiety. But if you then violate that control, if you grab them, pet them, hold them, you confirm their original fear. The nervous system learns. Approaching the scary thing gets you grabbed. Never do that again. But if you respect the retreat, if you let them approach and withdraw on their own terms, something different happens. The nervous system learns. I have control. I can choose to be near and choose to leave. That's safe. A 2021 study from the International Society of Feline Medicine examined approach avoidance behavior in anxious cats. Researchers found that anxious cats whose owners forced interaction, picking up, extended petting, blocked exits, showed increased anxiety over time and avoidant behavior escalated. But anxious cats whose owners respected withdrawal showed a fascinating pattern. They approached more often and stayed longer. Why? Because they learned that approach was safe. They could leave anytime. The study's conclusion: allowing your cat to retreat is the fastest way to teach them that approach is safe. Well-meaning owners of nervous cats often try too hard. They think, I need to help my cat overcome their fear by gentle exposure. So they slowly move closer. They encourage approach. They pet very softly and hope the cat will learn that touch is okay. But gentle is different from respecting. Gentle approach with no exit option is still a violation of control. A nervous cat doesn't feel safe. They feel trapped into compliance. Implement a new rule. When your cat retreats, you stop immediately. Not reluctantly. Not after one more pet. Immediately. Create an even more powerful shift. Practice the call and release method. Sit on the floor. Let your cat approach. When they do, engage with them for just 10 to 15 seconds. Then break the interaction. Release them. Let them walk away. This teaches their nervous system. Approach is safe and temporary. I always have the option to leave. Do this repeatedly. Your nervous cat will learn that you respect their boundaries more than you pursue their affection. And paradoxically, that respect makes them willing to approach more often. Within a week, you'll notice your nervous cat approaching more frequently. They're testing whether the pattern holds. It does. They get bolder. They stay longer. They initiate contact more often. Not because they became less nervous. Because they learned that you're a safe person to approach because you respect their exit. This is trust. Not forced comfort. Chosen safety. Have you noticed that your nervous cat reacts intensely to sounds? A door slam sends them bolting. A vacuum cleaner sends them into hiding for hours. Visitors trigger panic. Most owners assume their cat is just sensitive. But what if those sounds are triggering fear because they don't have any context? What if you could give your cat's nervous system a shortcut to feeling safe? A nervous cat's brain is constantly asking, what is that sound? Is it dangerous? What do I do? But they don't have the reference point to answer. So their default is, assume danger. Run. But here's something powerful. If a nervous cat hears a sound in a context where they've learned to feel safe, their anxiety response is dramatically lower. The sound becomes categorized differently. It's not a threat. It's just sound. This is why some nervous cats feel safer when their owner is home. Not because the owner can protect them from sounds. Because the presence of the safe person reframes what the sounds mean. But you can do better than that. You can create anchors, specific sounds and scents that your cat's nervous system learns to associate with safety. A 2018 study from animal behaviorists at UC Davis examined the role of consistent sensory anchors in reducing anxiety in cats. Researchers used a combination of consistent scent, feline pheromone products like Feliway, and consistent background sound, soft classical music, with anxious cats. The results. Cats exposed to consistent sensory anchors showed 28% lower stress behaviors and significantly faster recovery from startling events. More importantly, the effect was cumulative. The longer the cat was exposed to the anchors, the stronger the effect. The researchers' conclusion: the nervous system learns to associate these sensory cues with safety. Over time, the presence of these cues becomes self-soothing. Most owners try to eliminate scary sounds. They tiptoe around their nervous cat. They tell guests to be quiet. They avoid vacuuming. They create this fragile world where they're walking on eggshells. But avoiding triggers doesn't help a nervous cat. It reinforces the idea that the sounds are indeed dangerous. And it means the cat never learns to adapt to normal life sounds. The owners whose nervous cats improve fastest are the ones who create a safe context for unavoidable sounds, rather than trying to eliminate all sounds. First, choose your anchors. Pick a specific scent, Feliway spray, plug-in diffusers, and a specific sound, classical music, white noise, or specific cat calming music like music for cats. These should be consistent. Same scent, same music, every day. Your cat's nervous system will begin to recognize these as safe environment signals. When you know something startling is about to happen, vacuum, guests, loud noises, activate the anchors 15 to 20 minutes before. Turn on the music. Spray the pheromone. Create a safe zone with these sensory markers. Your cat will learn. When these smells and sounds are present, the nervous system can relax. This context is safe. Over weeks, you'll notice your nervous cat reacting less dramatically to loud noises. Not because the noises changed, because their nervous system learned to interpret them differently through the lens of the safe anchors. Eventually, even without the anchors, your cat's nervous system is more resilient. They've learned that scary sounds don't always mean danger. Remember at the beginning, I mentioned something that makes your cat feel safe without you even trying? Something so quiet, so subtle, that almost every owner of a nervous cat misses it completely? This is it. And it's strange because it's the simplest thing you can do. But it might be the most powerful. Is this just being present, calmly, predictably, without demanding anything? Your nervous cat watches you constantly. They're assessing. Is this person calm or stressed? Are they moving unpredictably or predictably? Are they trying to grab me or leaving me alone? Your emotional state and your behavior become the primary reference point for your cat's nervous system. If you're anxious, your cat becomes more anxious. If you're calm and consistent, your cat's nervous system mirrors that calmness. But here's the key. This doesn't mean you need to be engaging. In fact, the most powerful safety anchor is your calm, non-demanding presence. A 2022 study from researchers at Lincoln University examined the impact of owner presence and behavior on anxious cats. They found something counterintuitive. Cats showed lower stress markers when their owners were present but not interacting, simply reading, working, or existing calmly in the same room. When owners tried to actively comfort anxious cats, petting, talking, coaxing, stress markers actually increased. The cats interpreted the active attention as pressure. But when owners were simply present, calm, predictable, available but not demanding, anxiety decreased significantly. Most owners of nervous cats try too hard. They think, I need to help my cat feel safe, so they actively engage. They try to comfort. They try to coax the cat out. But a nervous cat doesn't need active comforting. They need to learn that your presence is inherently safe. And they learn that by experiencing your calm, non-demanding presence repeatedly. Create a quiet time ritual. Pick a time each day, ideally multiple times, where you're just going to exist calmly in a shared space with your cat. No petting, no talking, no trying to get their attention. Just presence. Sit on the floor. Read. Work on your laptop. Exist calmly. Let your cat approach or not approach. Let them leave. Don't react either way. Do this consistently. Your cat's nervous system will begin to recognize these times as safe. They'll anticipate them. They'll come out during these times because they've learned that your calm presence means no demands, no surprises, no threat. And here's what owners discover. Their nervous cat slowly begins seeking out these moments. They sit near you. They flop down nearby. They're choosing your company for its own sake, because they've learned that you are safe. This is the deepest trust building you can do. Over weeks, your nervous cat transforms. Not because you did anything dramatic, because you were simply, consistently, calmly present. And their nervous system learned, this person is safe. Being near them is safe. I can relax here. This habit is often the turning point where a nervous cat becomes a truly bonded, secure cat. Here's what I want you to understand. A nervous cat isn't a broken cat. They're not permanently anxious. They're a cat whose nervous system learned, for good reason, that the world isn't predictable or safe. And a nervous system can be retrained. These 5 changes aren't tricks or quick fixes. They're a comprehensive rewiring of your cat's environment and routine. And when you implement them together, something remarkable happens. Your nervous cat's brain is constantly running threat detection algorithms. High spots mean escape routes, threat level down. Predictable routines mean less surprises, threat level down. Respected boundaries mean they have control, threat level down. Sensory anchors mean safety context, threat level down. Calm presence means no unpredictable demands, threat level down. Each of these changes slightly lowers the baseline threat level. Combined, they create a fundamentally different internal experience. A comprehensive 2023 study examined the combined impact of all 5 interventions on chronically anxious cats. Cats who received all 5 changes showed 50% reduction in overall stress behaviors, 60% increase in voluntary approach behaviors, 40% reduction in cortisol levels, visible behavioral shift within 4 to 6 weeks. The most significant finding. The cats didn't just improve. They became noticeably calmer, more curious, more engaged than the average cat. Not just back to baseline. Most owners try one thing. They add a cat tree and expect anxiety to disappear. Or they establish a routine and expect their cat to transform overnight. But a nervous cat's system took time to develop. Takes time to retrain. The owners whose cats make the most dramatic transformations are the ones who implement all 5 changes simultaneously and stay consistent for at least 4 to 6 weeks. Create an anxiety reset plan. Week 1, vertical spaces. Install shelves, add cat trees. Week 2, predictable routine. Lock in feeding times, play times, your schedule. Week 3, respect the retreat. Start the call and release practice. Week 4, sensory anchors. Introduce felloway and consistent music. Week 5+, quiet presence. Begin daily calm presence sessions. Don't try to do everything at once. Your cat's nervous system processes change slowly. but do implement them progressively and maintain all 5 once they're in place. This is where the magic happens. Your nervous cat doesn't just calm down. They unfold. You discover a personality that was hidden behind anxiety. Playfulness emerges. Affection becomes possible. Confidence builds. But here's what owners realize most profoundly. Their nervous cat was never broken. They were just waiting for the world to feel safe enough to be themselves. If these changes are already shifting how you see your nervous cat, hit like and subscribe so we can share this with every owner who wants to help their anxious cat feel safe again. On CreatureCode, we decode how cat nervous systems work and what they need to heal, because understanding your cat isn't about luck. It's about creating an environment where their nervous system can finally relax. Your nervous cat is trying to tell you something. They're saying, I want to trust you. I want to feel safe. I just need you to show me how. Start with the vertical spaces, then the routine, then the respect, then the anchors, then the presence. One small change at a time. Your cat is waiting to transform, and you have everything you need to make it happen. Thanks for watching, and go make your nervous cat's world a little safer today.